PetMed TV brings you the top veterinarians to discuss product information and health tips critical to the health and wellness of your pets. Today we're talking about the revolutionary benefits of CBD. On today's show, you're going to meet Dr. Danny McVety, one of the leading veterinarians in the country, and you're going to learn all about the amazing benefits of CBD, the natural way to help your pets live longer and feel better.
I read a lot about CBD online and how it can impact dogs, and I had no idea how effective it could be.
He's getting in and out of the car a little easier, in and out of the doggy door a little easier, and I really love that the CBD is natural. I only give him natural products.
And I love that I now have a wonderful CBD product that can help my little dogs.
Does your dog suffer from stress and anxiety? Does your dog have stiffness in joints and difficulty with mobility? Does your dog have seizures or epilepsy? Does your dog have cancer and tumors? Does your dog suffer from digestive issues and nausea? Is your dog aging and having difficulties with growing older? Does your dog suffer from pain and inflammation? Does your dog have problems with skin allergies? If your dog is suffering from any of these conditions, sicknesses, or ailments, stay tuned to PetMed TV to learn about a new breakthrough product that will help with all of these conditions.
We are here with Dr. Danny McVety. She's the creator of Lap of Love, which is the nation's leader in end-of-life care for pets and pet hospice. Not only that, but Danny, you were voted the pet industry's Woman of the Year last year. That is so impressive. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We love our pets so much, and I know one thing that most of us feel is that they just never live as long as we want them to. Why does it seem like, dogs have such shorter lives, or why they age so quickly?
It's their one flaw, right? Their one flaw is that they don't live as long as we do. And to really get down to the science of it, we'd have to be talking about the genetics of aging. But we know that smaller dogs are going to live a little bit longer. The larger dogs tend to age a little bit faster, but of course that's very species different.
One of the other classes of conditions that the PetMed Lab's CBD treats and CBD products are excellent for is pain and inflammation. And I know that sounds like a pretty broad category, but what exactly is pain and inflammation, and why are they so closely linked?
It is a very, very broad term and a very broad class of conditions that it can help with. But pain, we know, is very, it's very broad, right? There's the pain of maybe even just your skin being scraped, and then the pain of just not feeling well, and then there's the pain of maybe anxiety also. But really that internal interpretation that the body has that something's not right. And then therefore causing some type of negative feeling, or what we call nociception in medicine. That's really what pain is in the body.
And why do people talk about inflammation so much? When people, humans will take things like ibuprofen or do something like if they hurt themselves, they'll ice themselves. Is that because of inflammation and they want to reduce that?
Yeah, it is. So if we can reduce inflammation, then we believe that we can, in many cases, reduce the pain associated with it. So inflammatory cells will come in, have inflammatory markers that will then click onto the neurons and then tell the brain that something's wrong. But sometimes if we can stop the inflammation that happens from either a disease or from an injury, that can in turn reduce the amount of pain receptors and pain signals that are going to the brain in the first place.
So when I think inflammation, obviously, you're thinking that something is swelling in size. Is that the right idea? And so this can happen in our animals. How would animals experience inflammation?
Yeah, absolutely, in many different ways. And so when we see inflammation on the outside, that is obviously because cells have flooded in the area, and then so many cells have flooded in that we cause a little bit of a bulging of the skin, if you will. But that can also happen internally. It can happen in our internal organs, it can happen on our skin, and that can show up in many different ways.
I love the idea that we can look at something like pain or inflammation, which is just the most basic of something that you were saying could be bothering your dog, and say, I'm not going to go get a bunch of blood tests done and see if my dog is capable of this or that. Let me start with the alternative medicine instead as the first line of defense medicine and try something like the PetMed Lab CBD products instead of jumping right to, I think, what you called the last part of the game, right? You said we usually jump to the very end part of the game and go right to the major types of drugs as opposed to starting with something so simple and so natural.
No, you're exactly right. And starting with something like the PetMed Labs CBD products, it makes the transition very easy. And it does make us and really empower the owner to give something that's safe, that's non-toxic, that's completely pure, that's not going to cause any harm, and allow them to treat some of these tiny little underlying conditions before they get too bad. And of course, then know when the right opportunity is to then go to the regular veterinarian and say, this hasn't worked, now let's try something else.
As a naturopath, I know that CBD also really helps with pain. And our pets, as they grow older, they suffer from pain as well. And I love that I now have a wonderful CBD product that can help my little dogs.
If you are living a healthy, active life with your dog, you will eventually, it's not if you have mild trauma, there's probably going to be some bumps along your energy-filled, happy life with your dog. Dogs can tear their cruciates, dogs can have sprains, dogs can slip, trip, and fall, dogs can end up with trauma that requires pet parents to think, my gosh, my dog is injured, what can I do to help provide some comfort or relief? The very safest option you have for pain management throughout a dog's life is CBD-derived products.
There's one more thing I know that happens with dogs, especially as they get older, and that's that sometimes their digestive system isn't working quite up to par.
The digestive tract can change. You know, just like the rest of our body can age, so can the gut. So even giving a supplement like this, the Senior Canine CBD Treats, it really helps maintain that homeostasis and the gut movement that, that helps digest food, move it along the tract properly, and then absorb the nutrients as well.
How do PetMed Labs CBD Treats affect not just the nausea, but also the other parts of your gastrointestinal system? What's happening within their body as CBD is taking effect?
We know that the ECS, or the endocannabinoid system, is within all systems of the body, including the gut system. So there are receptors within the gastrointestinal tract that when supplemented properly, actually supports the digestive process that a pet is normally going through. So it helps support gut transit, which means that the body is digesting food and moving that food along and absorbing that food properly within the body.
If you give something like this to a dog just to help with its GI tract, you're really just kind of giving a little bit of almost like a multivitamin, if you will, but without it being a vitamin, because you're activating those systems within the dog.
As a veterinarian, I actually look at CBD treatment more as a hormone therapy rather than even a vitamin, because it does affect a very specific system within the body. And we tend to think that vitamins are just something that we can take or not take, which is true with the CBD treatments as well. But when we have something that's so specific and so powerful in the way that we're providing it to the pet, it works in a more powerful way than we tend to think just vitamins may work.
Until now, your few options included strong drugs with horrible side effects, or the sad acceptance that your beloved pet was slowing down, getting older, and not enjoying life as they did in their prime. But now, your dog can regain the energy, the vitality, and the pain-free mobility that can add years to their life and life to their years. For the first time ever, PetMed Labs is making their CBD treats available to everyone through this incredible introductory offer. PetMed CBD treats normally sell for $40, which is a great deal for the life-changing benefits they can provide. But today, you won't pay $40. You won't even pay $30. Be one of the first 500 to call or go online today and pay only $19.95 for your first order of PetMed Labs CBD treats. But there's more. With your order, you'll receive a bottle of our PetMed Labs Appetite Flakes as our free gift to you. If your dog has a poor appetite or is just a finicky eater, our Appetite Flakes can turn any food into a delicious gourmet meal they won't be able to resist. Altogether, that's a $40 total savings off your first order, but only when you're one of the first 500 callers today. Plus, when you call in the next 10 minutes, we'll also ship your entire order absolutely free. This is a one-time purchase. There are no clubs to join, commitments to make, or required monthly shipments. But we know once you see the life-enhancing benefits of PetMed CBD treats, you'll be sure to order more. And remember to ask your customer satisfaction specialist about special discounts on enhanced versions of our CBD treats, created specifically for senior dogs and those needing additional support for their sore and aching joints. So take advantage of this limited TV offer. Dial the number on the screen or go to PetMedLabs.com right now. PetMed Lab products are not available in any stores and are only available through this special television offer. Don't wait. Every day you delay is another day your dog isn't living their life to its fullest. Call for your own discounted supply of PetMed Labs CBD treats right now.
I really like the CBD products, and you know they're natural, they're organic, and even my vet says they're really good for older dogs because they don't have the same kind of side effects that the usual medications are that they give to older dogs. So and they've tolerated them beautifully. Their symptoms have pretty much evaporated, and I'm just thrilled with them. The other thing I've noticed using the CBD treats is that these guys are acting much more youthful and spunky. They kind of have their puppy energy back, and it's just wonderful.
I've seen pets that have clawed through doors or they've broken windows to get out, and that's just, you know, the home damage. So would something like a PetMed Labs CBD treat be good for anxiety and stress, even if it was a separation anxiety? Is that one of the ways we could, you know, utilize these treats?
Regardless of the underlying, reasoning behind any of it, the fact that we can use PetMed Labs treats in order to treat these situations, it opens the door to so many other options besides just these very, very heavy pharmaceutical options that we have available to us right now.
My entire relationship with Kramer has changed since I discovered CBD. I used to not be able to take Kramer into any situations out in public, and one example is Starbucks. So before CBD, if I took Kramer to Starbucks, the world was coming to an end when we walked in, and every noise was almost like a jackhammer to him. And after CBD, we went into Starbucks and he stood in line. He was able to let people pet him, he laid down, and he had a very pleasant and enjoyable experience both for him and for me. I read a lot about CBD online and how it can impact dogs, and I had no idea how effective it could be.
Research 3 months ago came out that up to 30% of dogs in the US can suffer from anxiety. 30%. That's millions of dogs who don't speak English, that can't communicate fluently with anyone to let them know how they're feeling on the inside. Dogs that develop anxiety go on to develop oftentimes behavior problems. And as a result of that, there can be problems in the home with dogs having destructive behaviors, dogs that have separation anxiety, dogs that panic when the owners leave, dogs that are hyperactive and they can't maintain a calm, peaceful spirit. CBD is a very nice gift to animals who have OCD, anxiety, panic disorder, or animals that are having a hard time just being able to comfortably relax. CBD provides a beautiful, non-toxic, all-natural solution to manage anxiety and hyperactivity in dogs.
This is bringing me to what our next category I would like to talk about is, which is skin and allergies.
Yeah.
Because I think when we talk about diet and the nausea of a dog and even the stress of a dog, a lot of times it will exhibit itself on the skin of a dog. When you have an animal, comes into one of your offices and they'll have a problem with their skin, you may think, is it an allergy? Are they licking it? I mean, it's hard to discern, yeah?
Yep, yeah, absolutely. And I'm from Florida, so dermatology is, one of the practice builders, we like to joke. But it's also very, very frustrating for us as doctors to treat because the skin is the largest organ that we have. So there's so many different things that can affect it, whether it's external, something like someone changing their laundry detergent could affect their dog. Or if it's environmental, the dog walking through a lawn that has just been treated, or even something internal, like the type of food that they're taking, which is why PetMed Labs very pure, pure source of protein has been such an important part of actually getting the right medicine, the right delivery of this to the pets.
As a practicing veterinarian and also as a pet food formulator, I will tell you that one of the most difficult things to find is treat and food companies that are sourced in the US. That means all the raw materials going into those foods and treats come from the United States or North America. Really difficult to find. Also difficult to find is human grade raw materials. So what many people don't know is what goes into pet food and most pet treats are feed grade or animal grade raw materials, which are rendered and not approved for human consumption. The best advice I can give pet parents for making great decisions about everything they put into their dog's mouths is to make sure that your foods and treats are manufactured in the US, made with US raw materials, and are human grade. The second word of advice I would recommend for all pet parents is to make sure that the treats and foods that you are buying and feeding to your pets are species appropriate. Species appropriate means that dogs are carnivores, and although the pet food industry would like to tell you that it's fine that we can create vegan dogs, what we know is that a dog's natural physiology is best wired for species appropriate foods, which means meat-based treats. So my advice when you're looking for treats on the market is you flip over the bag and it needs to have no more than 3 ingredients, but preferably 1. We call those single ingredient treats. So if you're looking for the best way to nourish your pet when it comes to either buying treats or foods, the more USDA inspected human grade meat that can be on the label, the less corn, wheat, rice, soy, tapioca, all of those extra fillers are unnecessary for dogs and oftentimes create some of the health conditions that we're all trying to avoid. So the best words of wisdom I can offer pet parents is to look for meat-based, human-grade treats that are made right here in the USA.
For the first time ever, PetMed Labs is making their CBD treats available to everyone through this incredible introductory offer. PetMed CBD treats normally sell for $40, which is a great deal for the life-changing benefits they can provide. But today, you won't pay $40. You won't even pay $30. Be one of the first 500 to call or go online today and pay only $19.95 for your first order of PetMed Labs CBD treats. But there's more. With your order, you'll receive a bottle of our PetMed Labs Appetite Flakes as our free gift to you. If your dog has a poor appetite or is just a finicky eater, our Appetite Flakes can turn any food into a delicious gourmet meal they won't be able to resist. Altogether, that's a $40 total savings off your first order, but only when you're one of the first 500 callers today. Plus, when you call in the next 10 minutes, we'll also ship your entire order absolutely free. This is a one-time purchase. There are no clubs to join, commitments to make, or required monthly shipments. So take advantage of this limited TV offer. Dial the number on the screen or go to PetMedLabs.com right now. PetMed Lab products are not available in any stores and are only available through this special television offer. Don't wait. Every day you delay is another day your dog isn't living their life to its fullest. Call for your own discounted supply of PetMed Labs CBD treats right now.
We've talked about how PetMed Labs uses the highest grade, safest, most pure CBD that you can find, made from hemp, no THC, just really, really great ingredients for your dogs. I want to know, how do you give it to your dog? How do you administer it? What does PetMed Labs use?
One of the most used products is the treat. Right, it's fun to give, it maintains that bond, and it keeps the pet going from underneath of the couch when they want to give, medications. But the edible treat is one of the most common products that we have. There's a couple more as well.
So tell me what makes PetMed Labs treats so much better than maybe your brand name or your store-bought treats.
Well, the first and most important thing is that it is veterinarian formulated. So veterinary formulated, completely pure, gluten-free, grain-free, preservative-free, filler-free, all those things we know pets can react to.
So you say we know, but maybe not everyone does know. Gluten-free, grain-free, I hear that a lot in human diets, but that's not good for pets?
Well, it depends on the individual, of course. But one of the things that we wanted to do when formulating this product is make it very, very pure so that no matter what problems the pet currently has, we can at least give it safely.
Do you find grains in lots of dog treats?
There are a lot of fillers. There are a lot of things that shouldn't be there. And yes, dogs maybe wouldn't eat a corn off of a cob, but in the wild environment, a carnivore would eat the contents of an herbivore's stomach. So that's a very common thing for them to do. So grains aren't terrible. It's just the way that they're delivered. But if you pick up any bag of dog food, any treat on the market, you'll see the list of ingredients that are there, and half of them you can't even pronounce. Half of them I can't even pronounce, even with the training of it. But to be able to pick a product up and for it to only have pure ingredients, 100% beef products and 100% cannabinoid, full spectrum phytocannabinoid products, it's as good as it can get.
So you just said 2 ingredients. Is that it? That's all that's in the treats?
That's it.
So when we're saying that we don't want the grains, the fillers, the words we can't pronounce, you're saying we have just the CBD, which is what we're looking for. And what kind of quality grade of beef liver are we talking about?
Well, the best kind, the human kind. The ones that we would eat, right? The human grade beef liver, that's it.
So you have a USDA stamp, which means someone has said this is human grade beef liver.
Yes.
And that's what PetMed Labs is using with the CBDs for their treats. That is their CBD treats, their go-to product.
Correct. The government has said it's good enough for you and I, and we're saying, well, gosh, it is probably good enough for Fluffy then.
Beef is a very safe treat, no matter what.
It's safe. And what's important to understand too about this product is that there's only one protein source, so single source protein. When a pet does become allergic to their food, one of the first things that we change is the protein source. So if the food is chicken and rice, we're going to change from chicken to beef. So that's the most important thing that we actually change when a pet becomes allergic to the food that they're on. So this isn't multiple sources of protein. There's only one source of protein in this product.
It's just the CBD and the beef liver, and that is the PetMed Labs CBD treats.
Yes.
The go-to, the bread and butter of it all, without any bread or any butter.
One of the very best options is to use CBD on a human grade, species appropriate, all meat treat that is ethically sourced, made in the US, and is nutritious and delicious. So the great thing about CBD on a species appropriate treat is that you're able to easily and effectively administer the treat with the medication all in one package that dogs are delighted to consume.
I noticed as Butch got older, like most senior dogs, they develop certain problems, and he had a torn ACL and always had a little bit of breathing problem, but it escalated as he got older. And our vet, who used to come to help manage his pain with acupuncture, recommended that we get CBD oil. Once we started giving him CBD oil, it just made him more calm. His breathing was better. He was able to use his leg a lot more. We have a lot of stairs here. We live in the hills, and so he was able to use his leg a lot more and get around, and much happier. The CBD oil was a bit life-changing because once we started giving it to him, it really improved his health and just his life, his activity. You get to that point with a senior and you don't know how much longer you have, and because their life is changing, like any senior. And this really helps to make it better.
This word cancer is just this broad word that means that cells are dividing abnormally. That's all that means. And in dogs particularly, we have a couple types of cancers that happen very frequently. Osteosarcoma, which means that the bone cells, the osteoblasts, are reproducing too rapidly. And then of course hemangiosarcoma, and that happens within the blood vessels within the pet. So there are different types of these cancers, but CBD has been shown to reduce the growth rate of those cells, and that's why it's so important and such an easy treatment for us to give. And sometimes it's a better alternative or simply a bridge between when the family has received that diagnosis and if and when they decide to do chemo.
I came up with the recipe for these treats when my daughter, a brand new vet, starting her new veterinary career, said, "Mom, I need a healthy treat. I'm an alternative doctor and there are no healthy treats on the market. There's nothing out there. And I have to have a healthy treat. That means no grains, Mom." So I went to work trying to make a treat. She said, "I don't think it can be done because if it could be done, it would have been done by now." So she said, Mom, start with the old biblical grains. Well, I did, and they didn't work. Thank God they didn't work. So I went back to the drawing board, and in 9 months, ultimately, came up with the treats that we have now. It's a single ingredient, beef liver treat, pure, healthy, all meat treat for dogs. And that's the backstory. That's how it happened. And they worked. They worked beautifully. They have worked beautifully for 20 years. We've not changed our process in 20 years.
The other thing I've noticed using the CBD treats is that these guys are acting much more youthful and spunky. They kind of have their puppy energy back, and it's just wonderful.
You know, at 18 years old, a dog, good days and bad days, and it's made a lot more good days for him.
I am so happy that I have found Pet Med Labs CBD products. It has really kept Clancy much calmer on his walks. I'm just really a happy camper, and so is he.
She actually loves the treats. It's like a special time, a special moment when she gets her CBD treat, isn't it, right? I know.
I know.
Sweetheart.
Until now, your few options included strong drugs with horrible side effects, or the sad acceptance that your beloved pet was slowing down, getting older, and not enjoying life as they did in their prime. But now, your dog can regain the energy, the vitality, and the pain-free mobility that can add years to their life and life to their years. For the first time ever, Pet Med Labs is making their CBD treats available to everyone through this incredible introductory offer. Pet Med CBD treats normally sell for $40, which is a great deal for the life-changing benefits they can provide. But today, you won't pay $40. You won't even pay $30. Be one of the first 500 to call or go online today and pay only $19.95 for your first order of Pet Med Labs CBD treats. But there's more. With your order, you'll receive a bottle of our Pet Med Labs Appetite Flakes as our free gift to you. If your dog has a poor appetite or is just a finicky eater, our Appetite Flakes can turn any food into a delicious gourmet meal they won't be able to resist. Altogether, that's a $40 total savings off your first order, but only when you're one of the first 500 callers today. Plus, when you call in the next 10 minutes, we'll also ship your entire order absolutely free. This is a one-time purchase. There are no clubs to join, commitments to make, or required monthly shipments. But we know once you see the life-enhancing benefits of Pet Med CBD treats, you'll be sure to order more. And remember to ask your customer satisfaction specialist about special discounts on enhanced versions of our CBD treats, created specifically for senior dogs and those needing additional support for their sore and aching joints. So take advantage of this limited TV offer. Dial the number on the screen or go to PetMedLabs.com right now. Pet Med Lab products are not available in any stores and are only available through this special television offer. Don't wait. Every day you delay is another day your dog isn't living their life to its fullest. Call for your own discounted supply of Pet Med Labs CBD treats right now.